Welcome to AI Chain Reaction, the podcast where we unpack the incredible world of artificial intelligence and automation. Each week, we're diving deep into the tech that's reshaping our lives, our businesses, and our future. From groundbreaking innovations and the latest industry news to practical strategies on how you can leverage AI automation for growth. We're covering it all. We'll be joined by leading experts, innovators, and thought leaders who are at the forefront of this digital revolution. Are you ready to explore how one small change can set off a massive chain reaction of progress? Then you're in the right place. Let's get started.
Welcome back to AI Chain Reaction, the podcast where real-world logistics meets applied intelligence. I'm Nick, and today I've got co-hosts Devon and Jordan here to help dive deeper into prompt engineering for AI and supply chains. Last time in part 1, we covered the basics, being crystal clear with our questions, giving the AI the right context, setting the proper tone, and specifying the format of the answer.
Exactly. Clarity, context, tone, format. Those are like the ABCs of good prompts. Clear questions are like giving your AI model a detailed map instead of a vague direction. And context is like telling it about your warehouse or business so it knows the details and what details matter.
Right. And tone means asking it to sound like a friendly customer service rep or a serious analyst, so you get the right voice. Format means telling it you want bullet points, a JSON list, or a paragraph so it fits your needs.
That's a great recap. Building on that foundation, today we're tackling 4 advanced prompt strategies to make an AI even more powerful for logistics tasks. These are few-shot prompting, role prompting, chain of thought prompting, and output formatting. We'll explain each one, then walk through examples like automating customer delay emails, analyzing route performance, summarizing SLAs, digging into inventory data, and even drafting SOPs for third-party logistics. Finally, we'll talk about testing and refining prompts like A/B testing and using templates. Let's start with few-shot prompting.
Few-shot prompting, Nick. So is that like saying, here's a little training to the model?
Exactly. Few-shot prompting means you give the AI a few examples of tasks in your prompt. For instance, if you want the AI to write a customer email about a delayed shipment, you might first include 2 or 3 sample emails showing the style you want. It's like giving your AI training wheels. It sees how you like the answer to look, and it follows the pattern. According to IBM, few-shot prompting refers to the process of providing an AI model with a few examples of tasks to guide its performance.
Right, so instead of just saying, write an email about a late delivery, we prepared something like, for example 1, Dear valued customer, I'm sorry to inform you that your order will be delayed due to weather-related shipping disruptions. Or example 2, Hello Jane, unfortunately there's been a delay in our shipment because our warehouse experienced technical issues. Now write a customer email explaining a late delivery in a similar tone and format.
Exactly. The few examples show the model what details to include in the right tone. Energetic, helpful, and clear. Even 2 to 3 well-chosen examples can help the AI generalize to new cases with the same style. It's especially useful in business where formats are important. For example, for inventory analysis, we might show examples of summaries. Report inventory levels are low for an item X because usage exceeded forecast by 20% this week, and so on. Then ask it to analyze new data in the same format. Few-shot helps ensure consistency in how information is presented.
So few-shot is like giving the answer key format to follow without revealing the answers themselves. It's practically a cheat sheet for the AI. And this is important because we're training the model, and as we're automating a lot of our tasks, if we think of the tasks that we want to automate, kind of the mundane or routine, we've got lots of examples for things that we're doing like documents, spreadsheets, files, emails we're doing over and over and over again. We can use these as the few-shot examples to train the model to eventually do it for us. Is that right, Nick?
That's exactly right, but just a small one. It's much lighter than full retraining, and it works even if we don't have tons of data. As IBM notes, few-shot is great when you can't easily gather lots of labeled examples. Next up is role prompting.
Right, so role prompting. So we're telling the AI, act like somebody, right?
That's right. With role prompting, we explicitly ask the model to take on a specific persona. Or job role. The IBM Watson X guide puts it this way. It instructs an AI model to take on a specific role or persona. For example, we could start our prompt with, you are a senior logistics coordinator for a national retailer. From then on, the AI imagines itself as that person and tailors its answers accordingly. This affects its tone and the kinds of details it emphasizes.
It's kind of like an actor reading lines in character. If we want a response to sound expert level, we cast the AI in that role.
Precisely. For instance, if we're generating a standard operating procedure for a 3PL, we might say, you are an experienced 3PL operations manager. Write a step-by-step procedure for handling inbound shipments. By defining that persona, the model is nudged to use that right terminology and thoroughness. IBM even calls this persona prompting. By telling the AI, be a teacher or be a historian, we get more engaging and relevant output.
So role prompting guides how the AI thinks about the problem. Instead of being a generic tool, it's playing a part. That should make the answer more consistent with our business context.
Exactly. And we can combine role prompting with a system constraint. For example, the dev blog on prompt patterns suggests something like, role, you are a financial analyst specializing in supply chain metrics. System constraints. Answer concisely, cite sources, and return a JSON object with fields XYZ. This way, we lock the style and also set rules for the answer. It's a powerful combo. Rules set expectations and tone. System prompts are the non-negotiable rules.
Got it. So in our case, we might say, you are a fulfillment center manager. Use bullet points to outline the top causes of shipping delays. That both cast a role and hints at a format.
Yes, that would be a hybrid approach. The model will try to answer like an operations manager might. Role prompting is great for any use case where the AI's perspective matters, like customer service, a data analyst, or a compliance officer. And it's a simple but effective nudge. Now let's talk chain of thought prompting, one of my favorites.
So chain of thought. I've heard of thinking step by step. Is this similar?
Exactly. Chain of thought prompting is when you ask the AI to show its reasoning step by step instead of jumping straight to the answer. The IBM article defines chain of thought prompting as a technique that guides the model through a step-by-step reasoning process using a coherent series of logical steps. In practice, we might add instructions like explain your reasoning or think out loud. This is very helpful for complex logistics tasks where we want to verify.
Oh yeah, I really like this one. So for example, if we ask, why is delivery 1234 delayed? Instead of expecting a one-line answer, we can prompt it with a list of the steps you consider and then get the summary.
That's exactly right. The model might respond, step 1, check weather data, it rained. Step 2, check traffic or route diversions, a key highway is closed. Step 3, check inventory, the item was restocking, etc. Then it gives an answer. By seeing the intermediate steps, we can catch mistakes. It's like the AI showing its work in math class. IBM confirms that adding those intermediate steps significantly boosts ability to accurately solve multi-step problems.
So it's a bit like debugging the AI's thought process. We can compare its steps to reality. If it says checked weather, but we know there was no bad weather, we can fix the prompt or data.
Exactly, and this isn't just guesswork. Chain of thought often yields better results on reasoning tasks because large models can do this kind of internal logic. In our supply chain context, we might use chain of thought for tasks like analyzing inventory issues or SLA performance. Say we use the AI to summarize SLA compliance. We could say calculate and explain on-time rate step by step, then give the final summary. It might walk through order counts, delays, calculation of percentages, then summarize. We're turning the black box into a glass box for that query.
Yeah, I like that analogy, black box versus the glass box. We get a peek inside, and if the model screws up, at least we see where it went wrong and we can correct it.
Exactly. One caution, chain of thought adds more words, so it uses more tokens and costs. So we only do it when necessary. But for solving complex chain problems in logistics, like planning routes or diagnosing breakdowns, it's gold. The last advanced strategy in our list is output formatting with system constraints.
So is that about telling the AI exactly how to structure its answer?
Yes. While we mentioned format as a basic concept, here we dig deeper into enforcing strict output formats or constraints via the prompt. For example, we might include explicit instructions like answer only in JSON with key reasons, solution, or output a table of the top 5 delays. These instructions act like a blueprint. In practice, engineers define a schema for the answer. The idea is to make the AI output easily machine readable or easy to parse.
I like it. For instance, if we want to route performance data, we could say provide the results as a JSON list of objects with fields, route ID, distance, average speed. then we can directly feed that output into our dashboard without a lot of manual cleanup. Just guessing, we can do the same and put it into certain EDI formats, XML, Excel, whatever format that we need for this output becomes the input of something else. Is that right, Nick?
That's right. The Dev Guide on Prompt Engineering recommends this. Structured output removes ambiguity. In fact, one best practice is provide a JSON schema in the prompt and ask the model to output only valid JSON. It even suggests using concise schemas in validating the output. In a business context, this means we can chain the AI into downstream systems smoothly. For example, an AI analyzing inventory could output a CSV or JSON report that a BI tool ingests directly.
And on the content side, we also specify business rules as system constraints, like always exclude any mention of customer personal data, or don't propose solutions that exceed budget. These constraints become non-negotiable rules the model tries to follow.
Yes, often people put these rules in what OpenAI calls a system prompt, but you can simulate that by including them before the user query. For example, your role, operations analyst, rules, do not make up data if uncertain. Say data unavailable. Now analyze the following route data. We're basically giving it a mini rulebook. This is great in regulating logistics where compliance is key. By telling the AI its guardrails up front, we prevent many nonsense outputs.
Right. We talked about tone before too. Now we're talking structure. So tone is how it speaks. Format is how it presents. These are pretty critical in business.
Right, and those 4 techniques all sound useful, but how do we put them into practice? Can we run through some real use cases?
Sure thing. Let's map them onto some logistics scenarios we mentioned. Customer delay emails, route insights, SLA summaries, inventory analysis, and 3PL SOP generation. Customer delay responses. We could use few shot prompting by feeding example apology emails. For instance, include a couple of sample delay emails from previous incidents, then ask the AI to draft a new one. That helps it capture the right tone and context. We'd also use role prompting here by saying, you are a customer support specialist. That cues it to be empathetic and helpful. And then we might enforce output formatting by saying, provide the email as bullet points the rep should include, or in a formal letter format. Route performance insights. Suppose we want the AI to analyze and summarize route efficiency from data. We can ask it to think step by step. First, list key performance indicators. Second, identify any outliers. Third, summarize recommendations. The model will break it down. We can also use FewShot by showing an example of such analysis. For format, we might instruct it to give a summary in paragraphs plus a final bullet list of insights. For example, list the top 3 findings as bullet points, then explain each in detail. SLA summaries. For summarizing service level agreement metrics, precision is important. We might say you are a supply chain analyst, calculate on-time versus late shipment percentages, and present the results in a table with columns month, on-time percent, late percent. This uses a role plus a system constraint that enforces a table format. We could also have it explain any month-to-month changes in plain language afterward. If needed, we could have it think through any anomalies. Inventory analysis. If we ask the AI, why is product X inventory low? We could add reason step by step. The AI might say, check sales, compare forecasts versus actual, check delays in replenishment, etc. That's chain of thought. We could pair that with FewShot by first showing an example analysis of another product inventory issue. That way it learns the pattern of insights we want. We'd also ensure it outputs a clear recommendation at the end. 3PL SOP generation. Drafting SOP is structured writing. We could use role prompting strongly here. You are a veteran warehouse manager. We could also give it a template example of what an SOP looks like, maybe a bullet outline of steps, then ask it to fill in for our specific process. We could specify format like list steps as a numbered sequence. This combines all, role, FewShot, and output formatting. In each case, the strategy overlap, but the idea is FewShot helps set style with examples, role shapes perspective, chain of thought ensures reasoning, and formatting ensures it fits into your workflow. For example, an AI emailing customers about delays might use all 4: role, FewShot, chain of thought, and strict format.
And that makes a lot of sense. So it's not just one technique per task, but choosing the combination the right combination that fits the job. Maybe a table summarizing which technique suits which scenario would help, but that's too visual for us right now in the podcast. We can get to that later. So I think it's good, right? So there's lots to do with the role and the tone and the data analysis, the chain of thought, structured reports, output formatting, new documents, these few shot examples and how it all works together.
Alrighty. Exactly. Let's emphasize these strategies are tools in your toolkit, depending on what you need, tone consistency, logical explanation, data format, you pick the right prompts.
Yeah. And then once we set up these prompts, how do you know that they're good? We have got to test them, right?
Absolutely. Prompting isn't write once and forget. It's iterative. A great practice is to do prompt A/B testing, just like in marketing copy. In fact, prompts.ai notes that in enterprise settings, teams A/B test prompts with actual business data, track metrics like accuracy, time savings, and user satisfaction, and use those insights to improve prompts over time.
So we might try two versions of the customer email prompt, one that is more detailed and then one that's shorter. See which one comes up with the best results. Then we measure and maybe take the feedback and make some changes.
Exactly. We also keep track of which prompt got used, the AI's response quality, and any business metric we care about. For instance, if we're using AI to sort orders, maybe we measure reduction in error rate or time saved by staff. Continuous improvements is key. The guide I read even says, treat prompt engineering like a life cycle. Design, test, observe, then iterate. Continuous improvement. Test, track, and refine prompts to ensure long-term success.
Yeah, I like it. That sounds reasonable. Are there any tools to help with this too?
Some teams use systems like prompt registries or even monitoring dashboards, but even a simple spreadsheet tracking prompt version, context, output snippet, and score can help. We can also store prompt templates. Think of them as documents that you fill with specifics. For example, have a file delay email prompt template with placeholders for date, order number, cause of delay. That way you can systemically reuse prompts without retyping.
Yeah, very nice. It's like having a code library for prompts with the version control on it too.
Exactly. In fact, prompt management is becoming a thing. Versioning prompts, peer reviews, A/B testing, these bring software engineering rigor to our AI interactions. Remember, this is enterprise tech now, so treat prompts like valuable IP that you maintain carefully. All right, let's summarize our key points. Here are the main takeaways from today's episode. Few shot prompting. Give the AI a few examples to follow. It's like a mini training session. This helps it catch the right style and content requirements. Role prompting. Tell the AI to act like a specific person or job. You are a logistics manager, etc., to shape its voice and focus. Chain of thought prompting. Encourage the model to think out loud, walking through steps before answering. This clarifies complex reasoning and improves accuracy. Output formatting, system constraints. Explicitly specify the answer format, JSON, bullets, tables, no extra text, etc., to fit your systems. Provide schemas or templates if needed. Test and refine. Don't assume prompts are perfect. A/B test variations, measure performance, and keep prompts in templates or a library. Continuously test, track, and refine to improve results. Those strategies will help you get more reliable and useful AI outputs in real-world supply chain tasks. Thanks for listening. We hope you found these tips practical for your business. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and share it with your colleagues in logistics and operations. We'd love to hear how you use these techniques. Drop us a message or follow us on social media.
Feel free to check out the show notes for links and resources that we mentioned as well.
Thanks, everyone, and see you next time. Keep asking those smart questions to your AI systems. That's how we spark the next big chain reaction in the supply chain.
And that brings us to the end of another episode of AI Chain Reaction. Thank you so much for tuning in and exploring the incredible world of AI and automation with us. We hope today's discussion sparked some new ideas and gave you valuable insights into how these technologies are shaping our future. Don't let the conversation stop here. What was your biggest takeaway from this episode? Let us know in the comments below. We love hearing from you. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. For more resources and to learn how AI automation can transform your business, visit us at wintersaisolutions.com. Thanks again for being part of our community. Until next time, keep innovating and stay curious.